What's going on, CK Nation? It's your boy, the Boss Man CK, and on today's episode, we continue to go traveling down Track History Road as we make our next stop where actually the Cup Series is, and we're having racing action this weekend. We're heading to the 2 mile, more than 18 degrees of banking, nestled in the rolling Irish hills of Michigan. We're headed to Michigan International Speedway. So, we're all gas, no brakes, full throttle for Cal, and let's get this trip rolling. Alrighty, so welcome to Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. For more than a half a century, this 2 mile oval has been a proving ground for some of the biggest names in motorsports. Known for its blistering speeds, multiple racing grooves, and some of the closest racing in NASCAR, Michigan has earned its place among the sport's most respected venues. But before the grandstands, the race weekends, and the world of stock cars, there was simply a dream to build one of America's premier speedways. This ravishing speedway in the late 1960s was started to be built by racing entrepreneur Lawrence LaPatin. He envisioned a major motorsports complex in southern Michigan. Construction began in the scenic Irish Hills region, and in 1968, Michigan International Speedway officially opened its gates. The facility featured a 2 mile D-shaped oval that was unlike anything NASCAR competitors had seen. Wide corners, long straightaways, and high-speed banking became the track's trademarks, with speeds reaching up to 200 miles an hour. And because Michigan sits in the heart of America's automotive industry, racing here carried extra importance for manufacturers like Ford, Chevy, and Chrysler. NASCAR made its first visit to Michigan in 1969, and it didn't take long for drivers to fall in love with the track. Unlike many speedways where one lane dominates, Michigan offered room to race. We would have anywhere from 3 to 4 wide racing. Drivers could search high, low, or right through the middle to find speed. That freedom created some of the most exciting side-by-side competition in stock car history. Over the years, Michigan has become known as a driver's track, a place where skill, courage, and strategy can make all the difference. Michigan has produced countless memorable moments. Generations of NASCAR stars have celebrated victories here. From the legends of the 1970s and 1980s to modern champions, winning at Michigan has always carried a special meaning. Heck, Denny Hamlin's trying to go back-to-back this week. The Speedway has witnessed dramatic finishes, fuel miles, battles, weather-shortened races, and dominant performances that remain part of NASCAR history. For a while, it seemed like Dale Jr., when he got to Hendrick, people would say it seemed like the only track he could win at was Michigan Speedway, because he got a lot of it, like his early wins with Hendrick at Michigan. Actually, he got in one of my favorite paint schemes. He got in the Batman Mountain Dew 88 car paint scheme with Steve Letarte, which I thought was pretty cool. So, one thing that hasn't changed is the speed. Michigan continues to rank among the fastest tracks on the NASCAR schedule, giving fans some of the most thrilling racing of the season. People nickname it to be possibly a mini Daytona. I mean, it is 2 miles. It's not as big as Daytona or Talladega. It's 2 miles, but it drives and drafts just like Daytona. in Talladega. So some people do consider it a mini Daytona or Talladega. Michigan International Speedway is about more than racing. For many fans, race weekend starts days before the green flag. Campgrounds filled with RVs. Tailgates and traditions have been passed through generations. The Speedway has become a destination where families and friends gather to celebrate love of motorsports. Listening to the truck race this past week in the pre-race show, Carson Hocevar talked about, because he's from Michigan, and he talked about how him and his dad would sit in the grandstands that used to be in turns 3 and 4 and watch the races there, and now he's there racing. So that's pretty cool. That connection between the fans and the track is one of the reasons why Michigan remains such an important stop on the NASCAR calendar. When we go back to when it was designed, like I said, its design would later influence other famous facilities such as Texas Motor Speedway, making Michigan one of the most important tracks that would lay out in American racing. But if you look though, it would also influence Charlotte and Atlanta, or Echo Park Speedway now, as Atlanta is called, because they are Texas, Charlotte, and Atlanta are all designed in the same figure. But when you state about who's won there, the greats that have won there, or great races that's happened and things in fuel strategy that have won there, Greg Biffle's won there. I think one of his last wins came at Michigan. I mean, so Mark Martin's won there. A lot of the greats have won there. Also, Michigan has seen its tragedies a little bit, with Ernie Irving getting in a bad car crash in the Busch race in practice, which caused him to eventually step out of the car for good. So a few tracks in NASCAR have developed a reputation for speed quite like Michigan. The combination of banking, like I said, surface conditions, and long straightaways have allowed competitors to remarkable velocities. Over the years, Michigan has hosted some of the fastest qualifying sessions in NASCAR history. Drivers routinely approached or exceeded 190 miles an hour and even have topped off at 200. Before rule changes reduced speeds for safety reasons, Michigan was among the quickest tracks on the schedule. But speed isn't the only thing that defines Michigan International Speedway. Michigan's design encourages innovation, like I talked about. Teams often arrive with aerodynamic packages specifically tailored for that track. Engine performance, fuel efficiency, and handling all play a critical role, and crew chiefs must balance speed with tire wear. Drivers must decide when to attack and when to be conservative. The result in a unique racing product that challenges every member of a race team. Throughout its history, though, the Speedway has hosted countless memorable performances. Drivers such as David Pearson helped establish Michigan's reputation during the NASCAR's formative years. The dominance of Cale Yarborough brought fans to their feet throughout the 70s. And during the 80s and 90s, stars like Dale Earnhardt Sr., Rusty Wallace battled for victories in front of massive crowds. The modern era saw champions such as Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick to add their names to the Michigan record books. The track has also delivered forgettable memories. Like I said, fuel mile races have left leaders coasting toward the finish line. Seen plenty of guys leading that ran out of gas, and it cost them. Last lap passes have produced dramatic victories. Weather delays have tested patience and strategies. And throughout it all, fans have witnessed racing at some of the highest speeds in the sport. Michigan's connection to Detroit manufacturers has made these victories especially meaningful. The Fords always try to run there solid and try to win there because they know Ford is right up the road from the track. Winning in Michigan often meant winning in the backyard of American automotive giants. For drivers and teams, that carried tremendous pride. Today, Michigan International Speedway remains one of NASCAR's crown jewels. The facility continues to attract thousands of fans from throughout the Midwest. Camping remains a major part of the race weekend experience. Families return after years of creating traditions that span generations. Modern improvements have enhanced the fan experience while preserving the character that made the Speedway famous. The racing remains fast, the competition remains intense, and the legacy continues to grow. For nearly 60 years, Michigan International Speedway has delivered speed, excitement, and unforgettable moments. From its beginnings during the racing boom of the 60s to its role in modern NASCAR competition, Michigan has earned its place in among America's most respected motorsports venues. Its history is built on innovation, competition, and the passion of generations of fans who all continue to fill these grandstands every year. And like I said, every time they go to Michigan, fans always talk about the racing there and how great it is, how fuel strategy always plays out. Who's going to save enough fuel? Who's going to have enough fuel? When do you pit? When do you don't pit? When do you roll the dice? Like I said, Dale Jr. got his first win in Hendrick 88 car at Michigan. Ran out of gas, couldn't do the burnout. He got a second win in the 88 some odd years later, I think in 2012, was Steve Letarte. Kyle Larson, another one, got his first win there in the 42 for Chip Ganassi. So again, Michigan produces great style of racing and always will for generations to come. So, thank you for again attending this ride as we travel down track history road, and we'll continue to move forward. And like I said, guys, you guys are awesome always. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, and watching the episodes. And leave in the comments, as always, man. Leave it in the comments what track you would like to see me go to next, and we'll take that trip down track history lane. But as for that, again, I'm the boss man, CK. This is the CK Motorsports Full Throttle, and we're all gas, no brakes, always full throttle for Kyle. And I'll see y'all on the next one.